It's been a little bit quiet out there on the void, hasn't it? Falling Frontier has gone silent for some time now, no flashy trailers, no big announcements, just the odd whisper from the Discord if you were paying attention. But now finally we've got something solid, a new devlog has dropped and it confirms what I've seen bubbling away behind the scenes for a while now, some real progress. Systems being tied together, physics overhauls, planetary terrain, the works. Hi everyone, Tom here from LT Gaming, where we're digging into strategy games that make you think and not just click. And today we're heading back into the void to unpack Falling Frontier's latest dev update, because this one feels like a turning point. After a long silence, it looks like the project is finally quietly powering up again, and if I had to place a bet, I'd say we're looking at some form of early access release in 2026. If you missed my earlier feature, check out the video linked in the description. It's a full breakdown of the game's concepts, mechanics, and why it's one of the most ambitious RTS projects in development. But for now, grab a brew and settle in. Let's see how Falling Frontier has been quietly assembling one of the most promising space strategy experiences on the horizon. Let's launch LT Gamers. Right, so let's ground this in what's actually been talked about in the devlog. Now this was a full status report after some years of quiet work. It spells out how the project's core pieces are being pulled together, art, combat, tools, lore and sound into one cohesive whole. Combat and destruction, so this has been completely reworked. Stutter Fox say it's moved from an arcade style system to a more simulated one. Ships now fire thousands of rounds per minute, explosions use motion vectors for smooth slow-mo playback, and destruction reveals internal decks as hulls collapse. The devs explain that physics now drive every explosion. Debris is pushed outward based upon where the final shot lands, meaning each detonation will look unique. Medium stations can be literally torn apart from the inside, scattering debris dynamically, and all of this is handled through volumetric effects and animated sprite sheets that stays consistent whether you're zoomed in close or watching a fleet engagement from orbit. And I'm really excited to see how all this plays in with the existing systems we know around how sensors will work and so on. Now the team also confirmed that the tools of Falling Frontier have received a major planetary overhaul. Planets are no longer just flat textures, they're full 3D worlds with ridges, mountains, craters and ravines. And this isn't just concept art, it's already in engine, forming part of the upcoming scenario crater which players will use during the early access period. They've also rebuilt gas clouds using mesh-driven volumetric systems for more natural shapes, and added extensive color customization. So faction color schemes can be swapped out or edited universally, orange Titan strips for instance can become pink, red or black in seconds, and pirate ships will have their own individual hull variations for variety. And all of this sounds amazing, particularly when I think about the planets and how that might interplay with the radar systems and how you might set up your bases. It's all going to be very interesting how it plays together. Now, the devlog doesn't detail new logistics mechanics directly, but it did connect logistics to the lore of the game. They stated that fuel for the Europa jump drive is going to be helium-3, and it ties faster than light travel to the game's refueling infrastructure. So long-range fleets will rely on the network is what we can infer here, and we can see that refueling in combat could be very dangerous. So logistics certainly isn't going to be a background system in the game, it's going to be part of the universe's fiction and a defined gameplay risk. And finally, the art overhaul is one of the clearest signs of how far Falling Frontier has come. Every ship now follows a shared visual logic. White highlights sensor arrays, orange marks maintenance points and launch bays, so each vessel will feel functional and instantly readable. The factions will all share a human lineage, but their ships will tell different stories through design and colour, so it's cohesive world building through shape and shade. Under the hood, everything is running far smoother too. You'll see ships scorch and weather over time, radiators glow red under stress, and internal decks flare and hulls rupture. It's all going to be performance friendly, but it will make the battles feel weighty and meaningful, proper mechanical duels, not particle storms. And that same attention to the tone is carried straight over to the soundtrack as well. Scott Buckley's score continues to evolve. His new piece, Might of Mars, blends heavy industrial pulse with the moody elegance of something like Blade Runner. It's the perfect backdrop for Falling Frontier, equal parts machine and melancholy. Now together, the visuals and music are giving the game a unified identity, purposeful, grounded and unmistakably Falling Frontier. So why all the fuss over a devlog? Because this isn't just another round of updates, this devlog finally lifts the curtain on where Falling Frontier actually is after some time of silence. For a long stretch, the only real updates came from the community Discord, little hints from the team teasing progress on systems without too much fanfare. But you could tell something was happening under the hood, but on the official side, radio silence. That's why this post matters. For the first time in a long time, Stutter Fox had properly said, here's where we're at, here's what we're working on, and here's what we're fixing. And frankly, it's the most substantial look we've had in years. The big takeaway, the systems are finally talking to each other. Logistics, physics, AI, terrain, all those layers that were impressive on paper those years ago are now being woven back into a functioning whole entity. It's not about adding more features anymore, it's about making them all tie and work together. If you followed the project for a while, you'll know exactly that's what Falling Frontier needed. The devs even admit they pushed the release back to 2026, which might sound disappointing, but honestly, it's a good sign. They're not chasing deadlines, they're locking in the fundamentals before letting players in. And reading between the lines, I'd say that integration phase is exactly what's needed before they do an early access launch. So this devlog isn't hype for hype's sake, it's confirmation that Falling Frontier is alive and kicking, and probably inching towards a playable build that we've all been hoping for. After months of eerie calm, the update is like picking up a faint signal in the dark and realizing the fleet never stopped moving toward you. I think an ideal section for you guys is some strengths and concerns I have around Falling Frontier. The biggest thing for me right now is the focus shown in this devlog. It wasn't about shiny new features, it was more about refinement. After years of modular work, the team seems to be knitting everything together and you can feel that. Combat now looks properly physical, ships tear apart, stations buckle under internal blasts, debris will have some weight. The planet tech overhaul is another huge win, those 3D worlds don't just look beautiful, they'll make the universe feel real. Add to that the cohesive art direction and the music's evolving score, and Falling Frontier finally has a consistent identity, grounded, human and very deliberate. It's the mark of a project that's maturing, not just expanding. Now on the other side there are still questions. The release has officially slipped into 2026 and I think that's the right call creatively, but it also means the game has been in the oven a long time. The danger now isn't quality, it's momentum. The devlog is reassuring, but the community has been waiting patiently for years. Keeping players engaged through steady updates here will be the key. And while we've all seen major technical and visual leaps, we still don't see how these systems feel to play together, especially the campaign, logistics, AI behaviour under pressure. There's a lot of ambition here, but the execution will decide whether this ends up a masterpiece or just a brilliant prototype that never comes to fruition. A few things that you guys should keep an eye on over the next updates is this promised scenario creator. I think it's the foundation for community driven longevity. The demo that they also mentioned in the devlog and will tell us how polished that all of this really feels. And of course the logistics and AI interplay, which is going to be the soul of the strategy loop here. If those are landing well, Falling Frontier could easily stand out as one of the most thoughtful RTS experiences in years. So all this together, where does Falling Frontier stand? Well, the devlog isn't about big promises, it's about steady, disciplined progress. Every system is being refined, all the details being brought into focus. After a long quiet spell, the project is feeling alive again, calm, confident and moving with some purpose, and you really feel that in the Discord as well, I gotta say. The shift to 2026 makes sense, it's a delay not for delay's sake, it's breathing room to finish the job properly. With a demo and scenario creator on the horizon, we're finally heading towards something tangible and I couldn't be more excited. If you're following Falling Frontier's journey, drop a comment, give the video a like, help us get out there on the algorithm, and subscribe for more content like this, and I'll be covering every step here as it edges towards release. Thanks for watching guys, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye now.